I think shifting gears a little bit, talking about being a youth leader and ministry being one of the many things you have going on in your life. Granted, I don't really know too much of this story. What did it look like as you switch from, either being a part of ministries or being involved in ministries to leading ministries? Like, how did that shift happen from going to being a part of things to leading things? And in that, how did the Lord grow you in that embracing of leadership?
Yeah, fortunately, I feel like I have had and do have that curse of leadership. And I call it a curse because it's a weight.
Yeah.
It's sometimes unbearable. It's one of the most lonely calls to be a leader. And I've had it from a young age and couldn't qualify it. To this day, I have a hard time understanding the anointing or the gifting that leadership is, in that a lot of times I'll find that I'll be in a room with peers and no one will listen to each other, and then I speak and everyone listens. It's like scary influence. That power of influence that so many famous people take for granted. The ability to come out and say something and have thousands of people do it on a large scale. Even for me to just impact, tens or 20s or hundreds or whatever is and always has been scary. So from a young age, trying to see it and capture and understand the weight of it is the hardest part to me, because you feel responsible for things. You feel responsible for people that maybe you shouldn't even feel responsible for, but there is some responsibility there. And so I've been in church all my life. I feel like I was saved at a really young age. I feel like I really experienced the Lord at like 13 and kind of really been a Christian all my life. Doesn't mean I ain't do wild stuff, because I'm a wild boy and done a lot of wild stuff. But like, I know that the Lord was always there. And so I used to go to church on my own when I was like 12, 13 years old. I would get on the bus, leave my mother at home and go to church. And I would teach Sunday school to older kids when I was 15, 16. I was teaching Sunday school to 18-year-olds and leading Bible study since as long as I can remember. And so that's just the path that God put me on. Again, I didn't seek to lead. I didn't seek to do any of this stuff. It's just where God always brought me to, and just walking in that. And it's like, oh, this is what you want me to do. All right, we're doing this. And not really paying attention to it. And just waking up one day, in leadership, and just being like, oh, how do we get here again? And again, having those moments where like people are saying stuff and nobody's listening, and then talking. And I'll have friends who would be like, yo, everybody's like, bro, you got to say it. Because it's not like no one's going to listen unless you say it. And I hate that. It used to drive me crazy. Just like that, having that influence. Even on when I go play basketball, like there's kids that they fight all the time. Dudes be swinging on each other. And when I'm at the gym, it never happens. Nothing pops off. They tell me all the time, like, Mike, as soon as you leave, stuff starts going crazy. There was a fight last week. They be like, you see it? I'm like, no, I was fighting when I was there. They was like, oh, it's right after you left. It's like, what? Like, what is that? That's crazy. But that's the call that's been on my life for a super long time. And yeah, I can't qualify it. I can't explain it. That's gifting, and you don't take credit for gifting. You just try to steward it.